Hi, it's Katie, Unacceptable Katie, and I'm here with a real doozy today, and I'm talking really loud because a friend of mine said they couldn't hear me too well on the last video. So I'm sorry, I'm cheap and I haven't bought one of those microphones that's like a big dick in my face, but maybe I need to. I love Frankie McDonald, but I don't necessarily want to sound like him.
Halifax, Cape Regional Municipality, Blue City. It's going to bring a lot of snow blowing, drift to snow. It's going to bring reduced visibility.
Maybe this will be my last video and I'll just take off to Costa Rica after you hear what I'm about to tell you. So back in December, I was on YouTube scrolling away and I saw some mainstream media coverage about a mayor who was fired from his position in Chestermere. And as I was going through the comments, you know, people are cheering and, oh, he wasn't doing his job, and they were all happy. And I thought, this doesn't make sense, because if he's one of them, they wouldn't let him go. Like, I get the feeling this was like a freedom fighter, like someone trying to save his town. So I started doing some research on him. His name is Jeff Colvin, C-O-L-V-I-N. And sure enough, within 5 minutes, I knew enough that this was somebody really decent. Him and his friends were sick of what they knew dirty stuff was going on in their town, including real estate transactions, like illegal stuff. This is like a beautiful freshwater lake in Chesterton, Alberta. So, you know, I kind of went on to the YouTube site in the comments going, do some homework, guys, because this is actually a really good guy. And he's been ousted by some minister, like by the province, kicking him and some other council members out. So you may have seen this in the news where they're alleging, oh, he spent $8,000 in 4 months on meals and alcohol, etc. Well, today I'm going to show you an awesome video from True North. They just interviewed him. Oh my God, it's explosive. So first of all, the money he spent was when he got into office, he was told that you don't let people buy you meals, like dinners and lunches. So they don't. They do everything by the book. And those were, when they're working 12-hour days, lunches and dinners that they have brought in. So $2,000 a month for him and some council actually is not a big deal. That's just the media trying to smear him. Another thing was that they illegally fired him. Like, he's suing them. This is huge. He's got a big lawsuit. And he said the first step is critical, that the judge will even take it seriously in order to take the case. And the judge said, yeah, there's enough here. And one of the reasons being is that he demanded, like just kept asking over and over to this Ric McIver, who's in charge of firing him, this minister, where's the evidence? Like, you've done this apparently report on us saying we're doing such a bad job. Where is it? And they won't give it to him. And they still haven't. So that's partly part of the reason where the judge says, yeah, there's a strong case here. So this is really interesting. I'm going to, like I usually do, just to post a couple of great snippets, and then you can watch the rest of the video on your own. I'll leave the link in my comments. And you're going to hear him talk about how when he took office in 21, took 8 days. Do you get that? 8 days to get into his office. Do you know how many days it's supposed to take for that transition? 1. They dicked around. They acted shifty, played games. When he finally got in there, he said everything was gone. They'd cleared out the file cabinets. Not even a paperclip was left. They even cleaned out the computers. There was nothing left. So, okay, what is really going on with them firing him is he has come across some major stuff like human trafficking. This is allegedly human trafficking and a sex pedophilia ring in Alberta. Does that sound crazy? Because, hey, it was just in the mainstream media recently that Alberta doctor, was caught. He'd been raping a child from 7 till 9. Then he came and hid in Kelowna, BC, where the NDP paid him $700,000 to be like laid off with compensation. And finally, there's been some charges going against him. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. Notley was in power while this was going on, like while a bunch of this was hidden. What I want to do next is I'm going to read you something on my computer. So I'm going to turn the camera towards it and read you something that was attached to this True North video from somebody on Telegram. And I have not been able to confirm the truth of this. So it's likely a whistleblowing situation. And we're just going to have to just watch and see how it simmers if this comes to light or if it just gets squashed. But, oh, it's going to blow you away. Okay, so give me a sec. I'm going to turn the camera around. Hope you like my shirt. Not today, Satan. Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is why he was fired, allegedly. This is what he was exposing. Chestermere, the evidence of biological weapons that Conservative MP Pierre Poilievre is exposing is tied to the Chestermere ASIRT that was shut down by Alberta Municipal Affairs Minister Ric McIver, allegedly to suppress the evidence contained within that ASIRT request, which outlined, among other things, a biological weapons delivery system by way of commercial HVAC systems. So the ASIRT means Alberta Serious Incident Response Team. And the HVAC they're referring to is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whoa. Mr. Dale Richardson, who is filing high treason and human trafficking charges, states that Chestermere and Saskatchewan RCMP suppressed the evidence of a delivery system through commercial HVAC systems designed for the very same biological weapons that were handed over to Chinese nationals at the Winnipeg Biolabs, which Pierre has just exposed Justin Trudeau for giving Chinese national military personnel unfettered access to that biolab. The evidence of the bioweapons delivery system was included as part of the ASIRT investigation requested and initiated on October 25th, 23, and again on November 6, 2023 by Chestermere Mayor Colvin, Jeff Colvin. Ric McIver allegedly unlawfully removed Chestermere Mayor, 3 councillors, and 3 CAOs on December 4th to stop that ASIRT investigation from proceeding and to cover up the evidence of alleged criminal activity contained within it from being exposed, which could constitute multiple criminal offences under the Criminal Code of Canada. Ric McIver is also allegedly connected to those who suppressed this information that affected Canada's and the United States national security. Rachel Notley and the Alberta NDP are also allegedly responsible for implementing the exposed criminal and treasonous activity in Alberta. There are now multiple active criminal investigations being carried out by both Canadian and United States law enforcement into Ric McIver, Rebecca Schultz, Mike Ellis, Mickey Amory, RCMP, Alberta NDP members, Alberta Health Services, and CFS in regards to the shutting down of Chestermere ASIRT and the evidence therein contained, which allegedly outlines criminal activity of high treason and human trafficking. Just recently, on March 2nd, 2024, a witness to these high treason and human trafficking charges, Paul Fisher, was assaulted in his home and tasered 4 times by CST. James Quigley and his partner, who is one of the Chestermere RCMP members, named as the subject of investigation in the above-mentioned criminal investigations, and was then allegedly unlawfully arrested and kidnapped by Chestermere RCMP and AHS in an alleged conspiracy to have the witness labeled mentally unfit for filing criminal complaints against RCMP, Alberta Health Services, and the CFS must be something to do with Chestermere, and others including Ric McIver, Rebecca Schultz, Mike Ellis, and Mickey Amory. AHS is also implicated in unlawfully removing official AHS medical records from the information system to cover up ongoing abuse of Mr. Fisher's now 12-year-old son. Okay, so this is the son that was abused from age 7 to 9 by that doctor that's been charged now. So Mr. Fisher's 12-year-old son, I could be wrong on that actually. This could be another kid. Fuck. In order to cover up an alleged pedophile ring that Fisher reported to 2018 to White Court RCMP. So there you have it. Looks like a pretty damn good reason for him to be fired illegally. And now he's got a big lawsuit going after them. And apparently the States is getting involved. Let's hope that it's some good people that aren't compromised from the US, that this gets blown open. This really needs to be shared. Okay, back to me. So yeah, pretty crazy, eh? Please share this. Share this, even just for the True North part of the video. Share that. If you don't want to share my video, take that link I left you and get it moving. We need this to come out until it can't be ignored anymore. Everything they're doing is falling apart, but we do need to move quick. There's, it's like a race against time. You know, there's a lot of talk right now about a revolution, but that's what they want. They want everyone to react physically, violently. I'm talking about, did you see the National Post? If you're watching my community page, then you would have already seen what I'm talking about today. Plus, you would have seen when I talked about the National Post put something out yesterday about a leaked RCMP document saying that they are predicting a huge uprising from Canadians when they realize how broke they are. And they're predicting this over the next 5 years. That things are just, that we have way less money than we think. And remember, this was leaked and it's out now. You can find that. I'll leave a clip of it in this video and then you can Google what you need to learn more about that. So yeah, if we were to have an uprising, what I think would happen, this is, you know, just my thoughts, not trying to stir anything up. I hate that angle. I don't know. My thought is that that's what they want so that they can bring in new laws saying, oh, the far right. They're already talking like that down in the States. Oh, the far right is going to try and this Christian thing and overthrow the government and make it all white Christians and spewing all their bullshit like that. But seriously, it's scary. They've convinced some Wonder Bread loaf eater green hairs that's really true. You know, Hillary Clinton down in the States has talked about re-education camps. And it's come out of here too sometimes, out of Canada. We're in the race against time. I don't know if we have time to fight them the legal way, coming in through the grassroots in the municipal, because what they're going to do now, from what I'm about to show you with this fired mayor, is anybody decent that gets into council, that gets a voice, that gets the power, they're going to squash. They're going to lie, and they're already trying to pass laws to fire them, and they'll just make up lies and have the media, the mainstream media, lie. And so a lot of Canadians just don't know the real truth. And I just pray it comes out. Yeah, I'm thinking about Costa Rica. I'm not kidding. My husband and I have been just poking around looking at it. Costa Rica is interesting. It has no international ties for their Agenda 21. They say that they're going to have a net zero by 2050, and they're doing it on their own without the involvement of international. The recent prime minister, when he got in, made a law that it's illegal to force anybody to get this, because the guy before him was forcing children to get it. That's sick, eh? And, you know, it's affordable down there. It's not going to worry about freezing. And with everything going on with this UNDRIP and other things that you'll learn more about if you watch the other deputations that I cover, that they're seriously going to be going after our land in the guise of saying that it belongs to Indigenous members of Canada, or that it's part of a climate emergency. They're just going to make up laws and go around the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and do their thing. And so right now, these deputations are exposing all of that. When you watch the deputations, which I really wanted to show you some today, but when I opened my phone up and saw this, what was going on with the Chestermere mayor, I just knew I had to come on and talk about it. So I'll try and cover the other deputations when I get a little more time, maybe this weekend, because they're awesome. Like, they're coming right out and talking about 15-minute cities, and this is all going on public record, okay? So they come out and talk about the 15-minute cities, and they're putting the mayor and council on the spot, saying, so are you going to put something in writing that you're not going to stop us from using our mobility rights that are under our Charter of Rights and Freedoms when you bring in the surveillance and the 15? And you can just see them all like it's getting good, but can we fight them in time? I don't know. But I think God has a plan. I think we should just have a little prayer together just before I say goodbye to you and show you this video of True North interviewing Jeff Chesterman, okay? Now, if I look funny, it's because my light keeps going out. It's supposed to make me look less wrinkly. Oh, there's a big blue one. Oh, it's scary. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Join me in a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we're asking you to please help save our beautiful country, and to please start touching people's lives so they know who you are, so people will trust and believe in you and meet you through incredible synchronicities that they know are not coincidences. Thank you. And thank you for exposing everything and letting the truth come out. And please let it spread. Amen. You know, I'm going to end right here on this quote. A lie can get around the world in 15 seconds while the truth is still tying up its shoes. That's a good one, eh? Okay, love ya. I've talked enough. Have a great rest of your week. And maybe I'll get on this weekend. I don't know. I don't make promises. I just have intent. Bye.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Alberta Roundup. I'm your host, Rachel Emanuel. We are doing something a little bit different today. We are looking into a situation over in Chestermere, where the city mayor, along with 3 city councillors and 3 administrative officers, were dismissed by the provincial government. They were dismissed by Municipal Affairs Minister Ric McIver. Today, I am joined by the former mayor, Jeff Colvin, as well as one of the city councillors, Stephen Hanley. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rachel.
So, Jeff, we spoke on the phone a little bit earlier, and I asked you what's going on in Chestermere. A lot of my members of my audience have reached out to me, and they've asked me to look into this story. They said something strange is going on in Chestermere. When I started looking into it, I was a bit confused as well, I have to admit. I've never heard of a mayor and city councillors being dismissed by the government before. I know it has happened, but it's used in very rare circumstances. You said that the municipal government began looking into your council just about 2 months after you were elected, and after you and your fellow councillors spent some time digging into the finances and finding things that didn't add up. Can you share a little bit about what happened when you were elected and how quickly the municipal government began investigating you?
Sure, thank you very much, Rachel. What happened is that basically there was a group of us that were interested in running for council. First got into my office the first day, which was unfortunately about 8 days after the election, because they were kind of playing games with us on getting our orientation done. Usually it's done the next day. Ours wasn't done till the 26th of October 2021. And when I came into my office was completely clean. So what I mean by that is not a piece of paper, not a pen, not a paper clip, not a notepad, not some files in the drawers that what was the past projects the mayor was working on. There was nothing, not a thing. I looked in the computer, not an electronic file, not an email. Everything had been deleted. Everything had been erased. So that kind of gets your spidey senses a little bit going as to, what's going on. Where's the continuity of service? Our city is obviously older than a day old. So there needs to be stuff that we were working on. And so what we soon found out is they had deleted all of the emails of the CAO and of the past mayor off the server, off their laptops, off everything. We then further found out that, we were in office about less than a month, and the CAO, the interim CAO that we hired to replace the CAO that we had let go, before we were bringing in our tri-CAO model, came to the three of us, being two councillors and myself, and asked me if I was willing to provide a mea culpa. And I said, what's a mea culpa? And I was like, is that where you want me to forgive some kind of crime?
Listen to
said,
this.
Yes. If staff come forward, are you willing to forgive their crime if they come forward? And I said, I'm a mayor. I'm not a judge. I don't have that authority. I don't have that. I mean, we could bring in the RCMP, and I'm sure if these people come forward with something, I'm sure they'd get a lesser sentence or something, but they should definitely come forward. And he wasn't too impressed with that, but without skipping a beat, he then asked, is it okay if I pay out I plan to pay out some hush money.
Hush
and
money.
I kind of chuckled. I said, what do you mean by hush money? I said, I think I know what you mean by hush money. You want to pay somebody out so that they don't tell something that's not been done properly, and you're trying to get rid of them or something? And he had indicated that was the case. And I said, no. I said, we ran on, the three of us at the table ran on transparency and cleaning up corruption. The last thing we want to do is sweep it under the carpet. And so we wanted to make sure that if there's something to talk about, we want that information coming out to the public. Never mind, of course, coming out to council. And so he was quite visibly upset that we weren't prepared to agree to something so simple. And we just thought that was just terrible. Now, maybe he was trying to make us complicit with something, so they had something on us. I don't know, but
Probably.
Stephen Hanley was in the meeting as well with me, and it was just shocking. Like, Steve, what was your recollection of the event?
Yeah, no, I think you described it perfectly. I was just as shocked as anyone else. We had found a lot of things in that very short period. Issues with the utility company, with confidentiality agreements, the land sales around the lake. Every time we turned around and we had a question, it usually led to something very nasty. And then to just be asked, for a mea culpa, and if they come forward, will they be forgiven? And I remember my first thoughts was, if people were just if it's staff and they're just doing what they were told to do, they have no culpability, right? It's whoever instructed them. But that should go off to the appropriate authorities. It's not our place. We don't have all of the
Okay,
details.
see what I mean? So I'm going to let you watch the rest of this, watch the whole thing, start to finish. He's going to tell you about the judge
The information by the city.
giving the okay for this
Couldn't even
case
get to that
to
level
sue
of
them.
detail.